Yo, what is up, guys? This is Troy D from the Troy D 24/7 Mall channel, your source for on point and no hype reviews. We are back again, everybody. We're back with another fragrance review right here, guys. And today we are back at Louis Vuitton. That's right, guys, Louis Vuitton. I know a lot of you guys watch my Louis Vuitton fragrance reviews because of the honesty that's in there and the breakdowns. So today we're back with the latest Louis Vuitton fragrance. I'm sure a lot of y'all are excited about this, given that it's also from the Extraits collection as well, which is, not a lot of people review that. So hope you guys are excited. Let's go. And before I continue, please do not forget to like and subscribe, guys. Okay, liking, subscribing, and watching the ads is a great big deal to this channel as we head towards 27,000 subscribers. So please continue all your support, guys. Deep dive into my over 900 no hype videos, and of course shop at our affiliate links here on these videos, as well as from our friends of the channel, our decanters that we work with. Thank you so much for all your support. And the fragrance that I will be talking about today is none other than Louis Vuitton Fantasmagory. Yes, Louis Vuitton Fantasmagory. Okay, and this one comes from the Les Extrait collection, which is a little bit more expensive than your usual Louis Vuitton, and of course is, guaranteed to be in Extrait concentration. Not much has been said about these fragrances, primarily because they are so expensive. They're a tad bit more expensive than your typical Louis Vuitton fragrance, but there have been some superstars from this collection, such as Stellar Times as well as Symphony. Those are, you can say, mainstream. They've gotten viral, they've gotten really popular, and they have come from the Extrait collection of Louis Vuitton, and this is the latest one. Now, let's talk about the wording right here. Fantasmagory comes from Phantasmagoria, which is basically a dreamlike state of optical illusions. Okay, and that's why if you look at the artwork related to this fragrance, it looks like, a dreamlike state. And that's really what it is, a dreamlike state of optical illusions. Okay, that is Phantasmagory. Okay, now if you look at the fragrance itself, though, you look at the pyramid, you'll see a lot of usual suspects of fall winter perfumes, a lot of notes right here that are pretty popular with the mainstream. So you'll also see some other notes that are kind of mixed in here that are not. So I will be giving you guys my no hype breakdown on this fragrance, and I'll let you know what I think. Let's go spray this thing right now. Okay, guys, now let's talk about this fragrance right here, the latest Louis Vuitton fragrance for 2025 from the Extrait collection, Fantasmagory. Starting with this opening that I feel is beautiful. It's stellar. It's nice, okay? Now, again, if you look at the pyramid, you're going to see the notes of almond and vanilla, and these are really the predominant notes, I would say. Kind of sets the tone for the entire fragrance, okay? In this case, almond is really the more prominent, stronger note that goes from the beginning of this fragrance all the way until the mid. It is listed as a mid note, but early on you're gonna get that sweet almond smell really from first spray. Okay, so this one uses a very familiar combination of almond and vanilla as kind of like, the bread and butter of this fragrance. However, on this intro, guys, you are going to get some nice anise, ginger, and some early, really weak, but early leather into this intro as well. So there is some dry, warming ginger. You do have some slight leather and some slightly spicy anise. And what this does really is that it creates a very nice, classy tangent in this intro. So it doesn't just smell like your typical almond vanilla. Okay, so that is the edit that Louis Vuitton did in the intro of this fragrance. Okay, dry, slightly spicy ginger and anise, plus some very mild leather to create somewhat of a classy, Louis Vuitton worthy tangent on this intro right here. And that was my impression, because I was like, oh, this is gonna be your almond and vanilla that people will scream, oh my god, it's the same old banana. But of course, they did some tweaks. They added a very nice, classy, upscale tangent in the intro of this fragrance right here, Fantasmagory. Now, because this fragrance utilizes a familiar almond and vanilla combination that a lot of people love right here, plus the appearance of some nice warming ginger, compliment factor was high on this one, and I'm thinking that's gonna pretty much influence the buying factor of this fragrance. But to me, the almond and vanilla, these are kind of like no-brainers, right? I mean, they will, if you have a nicely projecting almond vanilla fragrance, I think that you will by default get a lot of compliments. But like I said, for me, it was that nice classy tangent in the beginning that made it slightly different. But I wasn't surprised with the compliment factor of this one. And when it comes to sillage and projection, obviously it's going to be a nice, thick, lingering scent that will grab people around you. I wouldn't say it's like super strong. Maybe the strongest is really in the beginning, guys. A slight scent trail, and of course, nice, lingering, thick, comforting is what you're going to get with Fantasmagory, along with the compliments. Okay, so now let's head into the mid of Louis Vuitton Fantasmagory. And as I've said before, almond is going to be one of the chief notes of this fragrance. Starts from first spray, goes until the mid, and of course the almond is going to be the predominant note here in the mid. Now, what flanks this almond is a bunch of florals that are not stated here. They're not telling us what the florals are. But in my opinion, it's a combination of creamy florals that kind of go with the almond and some white florals, maybe lily of the valley, jasmine, and maybe some orchid is what I smell here. Something that smells like orchid. And that combination really, you can only appreciate it when you smell it closer, okay? But it is so well blended in that really for most folks, I would say, they would probably only detect that almond, okay? But for me, I'm hacking this fragrance. I can definitely smell, the addition of, white florals. Like I said, an orchid-like floral as well as a creamy floral that goes in with this orchid. I like that combination. Maybe that's the uplifting balancer that they have over here, but overall the impression is going to be sweet almond, okay, with some background kind of like balancing florals in the mid of Fantasmagory. Okay, now let's head into the dry down of this fragrance, Louis Vuitton Fantasmagory. Second chief note here is of course going to be vanilla, and it's going to be a nice creamy and sweet vanilla that in my opinion takes over pretty early. Okay, and I'm talking about maybe like 5 hours in or 4 to 5 hours into the fragrance. Blends really well with that transition from the almond. Okay, so almond goes into vanilla, and this is going to be pretty dominant until the end. It's the chief thing that in my opinion would make a lot of people like this fragrance, although that's going to be redundant with so many other fragrances in my opinion. But you get a nice vanilla note right here, creamy and sweet, and with that comes that slight leather that I was talking about. Maybe there's something that's kind of like a burnt sugar smell right here, or maybe that's just the mixture of that leather and vanilla kind of becoming a kind of like a burnt sugar vanilla like vibe towards the end, like a darker vanilla shade towards the end. But nevertheless, this is still going to be your chief, strong, sweet, creamy vanilla that a lot of people love. It's going to be here at the ending of Fantasmagory. Again, with a slight darker tone, maybe done by the leather towards the end. And y'all know how I feel about leather. To me, too much is too much. I don't like too much leather. Here, I would say it's like 10% out of 100%. That's the concentration of the leather, which is not enough. But again, I think from start to finish, they really tried to create some sort of classy tangent to make it feel very, very upscale. And the leather in the end kind of just, although it's super well blended in, it creates like a darker, classier tangent for this fragrance. So it doesn't smell like your typical like almond vanilla that everyone has. Okay, so what do I think of this fragrance right here, Louis Vuitton Fantasmagory? I think it's nice. I mean, I really think it's nice and likable. And I think that this fragrance will be more for the boutique buyers, those that maybe have or don't have enough experience or don't have a lot of redundancy. And they come to the shop or they come to the boutique really psyching themselves up into buying a nice Louis Vuitton fragrance. I would consider this a nice Louis Vuitton fragrance. And of course, if you got the goods, you got the money, this is going to be your slightly more, upscale and expensive one that a lot of people psych themselves up for before they go to a Louis Vuitton boutique. But nevertheless, it is a nice scent. This is going to be something that, again, always it talks about, it speaks of the simplicity of Louis Vuitton fragrances, but the effectiveness of these fragrances as well. They are incredibly simplistic, but it just works out. Okay, people love them, people love the brand, and I think that helps into the buying factor. But it's really a very nice simple blend, in my opinion, with some slight upscale tweaks. But because it's almond and vanilla, these are really the usual suspects, especially with femme perfumes. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of women like this fragrance from the get-go, and maybe they haven't tried anything else or much of other vanilla fragrances. This will hook you for real. And again, I got a lot of compliments with this, so it's a pretty nice fragrance indeed. Okay, now usage wise, guys, this fragrance right here is a grabber to upscale grabber. And because it's got some nice balancers, guys, I mean, typically I would say that this is an AC environments, fall to winter fragrance, but because you have some nice floral balancers in the beginning, and the start is really not so heavy, I would say that this could be still worn kind of like all year round. But I would say mostly if I had this perfume, it would be a cooler weather to colder weather type of perfume to use. But a lot of women I know use vanilla scents really anytime, anywhere, usually even at work, right? So I would say that this is anytime, anywhere really, but I prefer cool to cold weather. And with that being said, also to me, it could be unisex, but really this is femme leaning to me, just because this is a very familiar formula the women have loved with so many fragrances that are either designer or niche. That almond to vanilla combination is well known, well loved by women. So I'm gonna say this, that it is, although unisex, could be more femme leaning than the usual. Okay, now total performance, guys, this thing was thick and it did perform past 12 hours for me. There's a lot of people complaining about the performance of this one, which is like really weird, because really from the get-go you get a bed of almond, which gets replaced early by a bed of vanilla. And if you're familiar with any of these scents, you've worn vanilla-centric scents or almond vanilla-centric scents, you know that it's a thick bed of that. And so, with that being said, it's an Extrait. It lasts very, very long, and it's thick and comforting, in my opinion. Does project, though. It does project. Not a super strong projector, but it is the type that will get, a scent trail, as well as people complimenting you. Like I said, that was my experience with this. So ain't got no problems with the performance of this one. And finally, let's look at the cost of Louis Vuitton Fantasmagory, and is it a full bottle worthy fragrance? This thing's $600 plus tax is going to be over $600 for 100 ml, with I think the refill option is still going to be there. Guys, this one right here, test it first, just because I don't want y'all to be like, because a lot of the tweaks, in my opinion, will fly over the heads of most people that are not really hacking this fragrance. Most people that will try this fragrance will be like, it's vanilla, dude, that's it. It's a clone of something. And it's not worth the $600. I got to smell those tweaks. They're nice, okay? But again, my experience might not be the same as you. My suggestion is go to a Louis Vuitton boutique and try and test it yourselves. Try it on skin, wear it, and see how that works out for you guys, okay? I like the transitions. I do like the tweaks that they did. But again, in my opinion, this will fly over most people's heads who will classify this as a simple almond vanilla fragrance, okay? So try it first, but if you do and if you like it and you got Louis Vuitton spending type of money, sure, it wouldn't be a problem to own those. I wouldn't say like don't buy it, because it's a nice grabber, a classy grabber to upscale grabber to have really for women in this kind of season right here where it is getting colder. And that is it. That is my no hype review on the latest Louis Vuitton fragrance Fantasmagory from the Extrait collection. Let me know in the comments below what y'all think of this fragrance right here. Was it nice? Was it too simple for y'all? Did it smell like something else? Let me know in the comments below. As long as you are respectful to others and myself, it'll be here right here. And there are no right and wrong answers when it comes to your judgments of perfumes. Let me know in the comments below, guys, and I will see you guys on the next video. Unfortunately, I'm back to work, guys, and I will be trying some other fragrances for you guys, some new ones, so can't wait to tell you all about it. I'm also flying out to Europe very soon. Can't wait to go to the Harrods 7th floor. I might vlog there since a lot of y'all have been really requesting me to vlog something like our old Arabian Oud video that we did. I got the boys back with me, so we might do that as well. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you on the next video. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. God bless. Take care. Peace.